But then yesterday, I had the lovely Ed come and photograph me because I've been awarded Member of the Year by CompTIA. Now, I'll talk to you a little bit about CompTIA. CompTIA is a trade association for the IT industry, and they are an American organisation that's spread out around the world. So they started in America. We've got a membership that includes Google, Apple, Kaspersky, Ricoh, Xerox, Dell, Hewlett-Packard. All the major IT vendors in the world are members of CompTIA. And we've got a community in the UK, we have one in Australia and New Zealand, and we have another community in Canada. So we have people who work in the IT industry like I do, who are members of CompTIA. And they're from little companies like mine, my little micro business, all the way up through to these giants. Microsoft are members as well. So throughout the world, all of those members vote for somebody within that community. They vote for a member who they think has given a lot back to the industry and done a lot of work. It was only started last year. Last year it was won by a guy called John Tippett, who works in the US. And last week I had a phone call from CompTIA's chief executive, Todd, to tell me I'd won it this year. So I've had to have all the photo shoot done. I had to have all my hair done properly and all my makeup done. So I was up at 7 o'clock yesterday morning. My hairdresser is fantastic. And then I was interviewed in the afternoon by one of their PR team because they're starting a journal. I'm going to be the cover story on that. Because one of the things CompTIA is very good at doing is looking at diversity in tech. And we know that in tech, in IT specifically, that only 14% of the workforce is women. So the majority of the workforce in IT particularly is men still. And we need more women because the industry is growing. And have you heard of something called the Internet of Things, IoT? So IoT is all about things that, or machines that are connected to the internet. So you probably won't remember many years ago that on the internet there was a Coke machine. It was somewhere in America, but the Coke machine was on the internet, so people could log on and they could see what was going on with this Coke machine. That's probably an early forerunner of IoT. So drones, you've heard of drones. Drones are IoT machines because the footage that they take is streamed up to the cloud so that you can go and access it from there. So all these machines that are connected to the internet are classed under the umbrella of IoT. Well, the research that's been done recently has shown that that just as one area of tech is going to account for $11 billion worth of monetary value in the world by 2025. So if that's going to achieve what the industry thinks it should do, we're going to need an awful lot more people in tech. We're going to need all sorts of people. We're going to need people who code, but we're going to need people who can train, people who can support things, people who can sell things, people who can market it, people who can use it, people who can write interfaces to applications for business use. So, you know, things like that, there is so much scope with tech to look at what's coming next, look at new technologies. So when you're on Instagram and you're on Snapchat and you're on Pinterest and you're on social media, behind that sits lots of people who code it, who make sure that it looks right, who make sure that it works properly, who take support calls, who constantly evolve and change that application. That's people like you and me. They're not funny people that just sit with short trousers or long hair in a little back-end office. They're people like those that work for Google.